Are you sure this is a good idea?
It's a great idea. Now, come on.
Horny teens, ominous music, and a dark, deserted building? How original. Like we haven't seen this scenario played out before. We can totally anticipate what's going to happen here. Let's review the horror movie formula. Girl hears scary noise. Guy goes to investigate the noise. Guy doesn't find anything. Guy reassures the girl that everything's okay. And finally, monster pops out behind... And so begins our journey into the greatest show ever made.
Oh, good God, it's another Whedon fanatic.
Who the hell are you?
I am just a voice of reason in this obviously one-sided perspective.
Listen, we live in a free country, and you have the right to your opinion, as stupid as it may be, but I am doing a review show.
No, what you're doing is stroking your fanboy boner.
You did not just say that.
You desperately need me for some objectivity.
What you mean is criticism.
I just want to make sure you don't skip over the many flaws in Joss Whedon's works that include...
Joss Whedon is flawless and without peer!
Ooh, did I touch a nerve?
So apparently you're just gonna stick around no matter what I say.
Pretty much.
Fine! God. If this is your first time investigating Joss Whedon, or if you're a diehard Whedonite, allow me to be the first to say, welcome to the Whedonverse. This is the one that started it all, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Before we dive in, let's take another look at that opening scene. This is the most amazing introduction in the history of TV shows. All our expectations have been thrown completely out the window. Having the pretty girl be the monster totally catches us off our guard. Plus, there's nothing like an "oh shit" moment to grab your attention. Cue theme song. The opening theme is also an exercise in contrasts. Beginning with creepy organ music, a spooky wolf howl, and ancient symbols, the first 4 seconds provide homage to classic horror. It mimics the gothic style of the Universal monster movies of the 30s and 40s, and the Hammer films of the 60s and 70s. After these 4 seconds, the theme suddenly segues into a wailing guitar riff. This upbeat change signifies the show's youthful and postmodern take on the horror genre. The character of Buffy was the brainchild of writer Joss Whedon. An avowed feminist, Joss made Buffy to subvert the damsel in distress role that you see in nearly every scary movie.
The first thing I ever thought of when I thought of Buffy the movie was the little girl, the little blonde girl who goes into a dark alley and gets killed in every horror movie. The idea of Buffy was to subvert that idea, that image, and create someone who was a hero where she had always been a victim.
The character first appeared in the 1992 film starring Kristy Swanson. Unfortunately, due to the meddling of studio executives, definitely on coke, the result was a watered-down version of Joss's script, as a lot of his more mature elements were removed. Let's take a look at some other movies where Joss Whedon's input was ignored. Thankfully, movie studios finally learned their lesson and began to show Joss the respect. Following the movie's release, Gail Berman, an executive for 20th Century Fox, talked to Joss about reformatting his idea into a TV show. Their original plan was to have the vampires serve as an allegory for soulless liberals, an idea that was later recycled into another fictional series. Joss eventually wrote a sequel to his original movie script, and the 2-part pilot was broadcast on March 1997 on the up-and-coming WB network. We open on our lead, played by the immensely lovely and talented Sarah Michelle Gellar, fitfully lying in the arms of Morpheus.
Are the fires of hell a-glowing? Is the grisly reaper mowing? The danger must be growing, for the rowers keep on rowing, and they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing.
Buffy has just moved from LA to Sunnydale, California. Her parents recently divorced and she was kicked out of her former high school. Understandably, she's facing a lot of stress on her first day.
Have a good time. I know you're gonna make friends right away, just think positive. And honey, Try not to get kicked out.
I promise.
What a clever use of foreshadowing, because in season 2 we know—
Stop giving away plot details!
Fun fact, Sunnydale was originally planned to be called Berryman. Also, the site used for the exterior and some interior shots of the school is Torrance High, the same location used for Beverly Hills 90210, a show which coincidentally also stars a very young Luke Perry.
And like that show, this season of Buffy also exhibits that super cliched 90s vibe. All that's missing is an appropriate soundtrack.
Excuse me. Whoa. Excuse me, not sure.
This is Xander Harris,
Xander. Is me. Hi.
your average insecure geek with a sarcastic sense of humor.
Because that archetype has never been used on television before.
He's described in the words of the script as bright, funny, and will one day be suave and handsome. Till that day arrives, he'll do the best he can with smart and funny.
He also provides us with the show's inaugural scene of action.
I feel good. Willow, you're so very much the person I wanted to see.
We're next introduced to Willow Rosenberg, Xander's lifelong friend. A shy, naive bookworm, Willow is defined by her intelligence, kindness, and generosity.
Yeah, you know, I kinda had a problem with the math.
Which part?
The math. Can you help me out tonight, please? Be my study buddy.
Well, what's in it for me?
A shiny nickel.
Okay.
I wonder what she'd do for a full $1.
In the hallway, Xander and Willow meet their friend Jesse. Actor Eric Balfour was originally supposed to be featured in the opening credits, so Joss could shock his audience with the death of a lead character.
Oh, so you can give away spoilers.
Unfortunately, the producers couldn't afford an extra set of title cards, so the actor is billed as a guest star.
A throwaway character and a throwaway acting career.
Buffy is welcomed to Sunnydale High by her new principal, Mr. Flutie. However, their friendly conversation soon turns to Buffy's checkered past.
I know my transcripts are a little colorful.
Hey, we're not caring about that. Do you think, colorful is the word?
Wasn't that bad.
You burned down the gym.
I did. I really did. But you're not seeing the big picture here. I mean, that gym was full of asbestos.
The event they're referencing occurred in the previously mentioned original movie script, which was later turned into a Dark Horse comic book called The Origin. The comic reworks several events from the movie, such as Buffy's training, the death of her first mentor, and the powers of the vampires. Joss has said that The Origin can be considered official canon.
Can I have you? Can I help you?
Thanks.
Very suave. Very not pathetic. Oh, hey. Hey, you forgot your... It's okay, it's just a steak! How dare you turn this into a dirty thing!
Rounding out Buffy's group of classmates is Cordelia Chase, the queen bee of Sunnydale High. Cordy's kind acts towards Buffy, like sharing her textbook and giving her a tour of the school, make her seem like a genuinely nice person, if a bit spoiled and superficial.
So you're from Hemery, right? In LA?
Yeah.
I would kill to live in LA. That close to that many shoes?
Also, the fact that Buffy and Cordy share similar interests with things like fashion and pop culture teases that Buffy has the potential to hang with the popular crowd. The similarity between the characters is intentional, as Cordy is meant to serve as a reflection of Buffy before Buffy learned of her Slayer powers. In fact, Sarah Michelle Gellar was originally cast as Cordelia. Gellar impressed the studio so much that she later won the title role.
Willow, nice dress. Good to know you've seen the softer side of Sears.
It's here that Cordy reveals her true colors, that of the classic high school bitch. Buffy now faces a crossroads. Does she sell out for the popular clique, or does she stay true to her principles with her outcast but genuine friends? Buffy goes to find a textbook and meets Rupert Giles, the school librarian, who is mysteriously aware of her dual identity. The nature of the secret relationship between him and Buffy will be explained later in this episode.
Well, of course he'd have to keep it under wraps. She's underage.
It's platonic!
The new kid? She seems kind of weird to me. What kind of name is Buffy? Hey, Aphrodisiac. Oh, hey!
This observation is kind of a self-aware joke, as Joss has said the name Buffy is a reference to B-movies, films that feature outlandish titles along with subpar effects and over-the-top acting.
Well, I would have been blue, and she said it.
Hearing the gossip about the murder, Buffy stealthily goes to the gym to investigate. She finds the body, along with some familiar markings on it.
Okay, What's the sitch?
What's the sitch?
He's got two little holes in his neck, and all his blood's been drained.
Will he rise again?
No, he's just dead.
Can you be sure?
To make you a vampire, they have to suck your blood. And then you have to suck their blood. It's like a whole big sucking thing.
Do I really need to say anything?
Shut up!
You think it's coincidence you're being here? That boy was just the beginning.
Oh, why can't you people just leave me alone?
Because you are the Slayer. Into each generation, a Slayer is born. One girl in all the world.
They are reciting the prophecy of the Slayer, which is part of the intro for most Season 1 episodes.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness.
Before the show aired, the WB released a series of promos chronicling the history of earlier Slayers.
Mysterious deaths were attributed to some unknown animals. These deaths stopped shortly after a strange visitor, Abigail Cole, joined the community.
The Slayer is endowed with mystical powers, which give her advanced speed, strength, healing, dexterity, agility, and the ability to leap tall buildings in a single bound!
Dig a bit in the history of this place, and you'll find a steady stream of fairly odd occurrences. I believe this whole area is a center of mystical energy. Things gravitate towards it that you might not find elsewhere.
Like vampires.
Like zombies, werewolves, incubi, succubi. Everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day. They're all real.
This plot device, known as the Hellmouth, is the reason why Sunnydale has an abundance of supernatural activity. It also allows the writers to create Monster of the Week episodes.
I'm a vampire slayer. And secondly, I'm retired. Hey, I know. Why don't you kill him?
A Slayer slays, a watcher...
Watches?
Yes, no. He trains her.
It's here that we learn Giles' true role, that of a Watcher, a mentor assigned to the Slayer to train her with the proper skills to fight demonic forces. The greatest asset Giles provides Buffy is his vast knowledge and experience. He's like the Obi-Wan to her Skywalker.
Well, she sure as hell whines as much as Luke did.
It's my first day. I was afraid that I was going to be behind in all my classes, that I wouldn't make any friends.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Prepares me for what? For getting kicked out of school? For losing all of my friends? For having to spend all of my time fighting for my life and never getting to tell anyone because I might endanger them? Go ahead. Prepare me.
It's these concerns that Buffy's expressed that represent the overarching theme of the entire show, Buffy having to manage her personal life with that of being the Slayer.
Yeah, well, her wise teacher completely forgot Xander was in the room. You think the fact that Xander just overheard them talking about Buffy's Slayer duties would make them a bit more careful in the future? But no, they use the library all the time to discuss supernatural events.
Buffy refuses to resume slaying, while Giles warns her of a coming apocalypse.
Signs, as far as I can tell, point to a crucial mystical upheaval very soon. Days, possibly less.
Oh, come on. This is Sunnydale. How bad and evil can there be here?
We move underground to see the Order of Aurelius, a cult of religious vampires, performing a satanic ritual.
And apparently a homeless man who just wandered onto the set. They didn't have enough money for reshoots, so they just left him in the scene.
This cave will be the base of operations for the main antagonist throughout Season 1. Later that night, Buffy heads downtown to check out Sunnydale's only club, the Bronze. Along the way, she is stalked by and subdues a shadowy figure.
I know what you're thinking. Don't worry. I don't bite.
This character is the enigmatic Angel. He's a great example of the phrase tall, dark, and handsome. Or as Cordy says,
Hello, salty goodness.
more details about Angel's dark past will come to light as the season progresses.
What I want is to be left alone.
Do you really think that's an option anymore? You're standing at the mouth of hell. And it's about to open. Don't turn your back on this. You've got to be ready
What for?
for the harvest.
Hey, Cletus, Jeremiah, we just need to get that there curtain into burn, lickety split, for the boll weevil will eat it up. Let's get her done.
At the Bronze, Buffy runs into Willow and the girls end up talking about relationships, specifically Willow's unrequited love for Xander. Buffy offers Willow advice in the form of her life motto.
Seize the moment, because tomorrow you might be dead.
This is the first of many times that Buffy encourages Willow to step out of her comfort zone. It's because of Buffy that Willow grows from being meek and sheltered into a more assertive individual, while Willow provides Buffy with emotional support and dependability. Their complementary personalities will be the basis for their strong friendship. Giles comes to reason with his wayward student. He challenges her to sense if there's a vampire in the crowd.
Well, try. Reach out with your mind. You have to hone your senses, focus until the energy washes over you.
Use the Force, Luke.
There's one.
Where?
Right there, talking to that girl.
You don't know.
Oh, please. Look at his jacket. He's got the sleeves rolled up. And the shirt? Deal with that outfit for a moment.
It's dated.
It's carbon dated.
Wait, so Joss's feminist character identifies the vampire through a sense of fashion? Yeah, that's really progressive. Oh, I guess I should give him some credit. It's slightly more progressive than the Buffy movie when she can detect the vampires through her menstrual cramps.
Realizing that her advice has put Willow in danger, Buffy resolves to save her friend. In the process, she ends up accidentally attacking Cordelia. At this point, our title character's status as one of the uncool kids is now official. Meanwhile, Jesse's hormones get him into trouble.
So, what did you say your name was?
Darla.
Tenth floor, gardening tools, appliances, prolonged villain reveals.
This is the Master, the main villain for Season 1.
In the world of Buffy, each season has one main bad guy, who is designated as the Big Bad. Insert joke about my penis here.
The character of the Master is intended to be a tribute to the gothic vampires throughout film history.
Hey, you ever been in one of these?
No. Thank you.
Fun fact number 2. In the unaired pilot of the show, this vampire brought Willow to the school auditorium instead of this mausoleum.
Segway!
You can watch the unaired pilot online, and I definitely recommend checking it out, as you can see the early foundations for the show and how the writers use some of the same scenes and dialogue later in the series. I hope to eventually review the unaired pilot, but that's neither here nor now.
And hopefully never.
Xander confronts Buffy about what he overheard in the library. Although he doesn't believe her story, he decides to follow her anyway to make sure Willow is okay. Darla arrives in the crypt with Jesse coming close behind her. As the vampires reveal their true nature and prepare to feed, Buffy arrives to save the day.
You're strong. I'm stronger.
Yeah, Buffy has such amazing powers, but she's taken down by a single bitch slap.
And like a plague of boils, the race of man covered the earth. But on the third day of the newest light will come the harvest, and the blood of men will flow as wine, when the Master will walk among them once more. The earth will belong to the old ones, and hell itself will come to town.
And so come the 3 most dreaded words in serialized television. The first half of the Buffy pilot is an amazing introduction to the character, themes, and style of the series. And now we're on the edge of our seats, waiting for what's going to happen. We have another 40 minutes of awesomeness, so stay tuned for part 2.